everyone, I'm Jenny Hoover. I am a beauty guide with Limelight by Alcone, and I am here today to talk to you about brows. So, as you can see, brows are a huge part of your makeup game. They are very trendy right now. They're very in. And I have a lot of customers that come to me asking, you know, help me with my brows. Help me figure out how to make my eyebrows look like yours, or I want them to be just a little bit fuller. So basically, if you already have a lot of an eyebrow, a lot of hair there, and you're good, you just have like a couple sparse, or you want them to look a little bit fuller, you can go in with a brush, an eyebrow brush. Now this is our brush number 14. I believe it's called the Brow Tamer. It has a spoolie on the end, and then if you can see, if this will let, it is just like angled, and then it's very thin. It's very thin, so it's perfect for eyebrows. It's perfect for drawing those little lines in. So just go in with this. If this is for thicker brows, and you just want them to look a little bit fuller, go in with this. Find an eyeshadow that matches your brow color or the color you want it to be, and just go in with this, dry into there, and just kind of fill it out and just create a little bit of a shadow behind the hair that you already have. Now, if you're like me, or you have brows but you want to kind of change the shape of them or make the tail a little bit longer, this is what you want to do. You only need 3 products. Obviously, the brush that I just showed you, brush number 14, this brush is life, I'm telling you. And then one of the setting sprays. We have 2 setting sprays, whatever one you have, or if you have oily skin, you can do Oil Strike. That was going to give you like a matte finish, and this one is the 10 years younger spray. Either one will work. It's just basically going to make your eyebrows stay on and last all day long. So they're not going to like wear away. If you wipe your face, they're not going to come off. The bad boys are going to stay. So the third thing you're going to need is eyeshadow. I like to use this lighter one. I was using both and kind of playing with it, and that's the other thing. Everybody is different. You kind of just have to experiment and figure out what works best for you. The first thing I like to do is I get my brush, get my spray, and I just give 1 squirt on the back of my hand. That was like a half squirt. 1 squirt on the back of my hand, and then I just dip my brush in there to get it wet and dip into the eyeshadow. So it's like water painting, watercolors. You're like painting your eyebrows on. So then just give it a couple taps into the shadow, especially if you're using our shadow. It's very pigmented, so you only need a couple taps. And then I like to start wherever you lay your brush first is where it's going to be the darkest. So you definitely don't want it super dark right here. So I like to start kind of in the middle of my arch here. And this brush makes it so easy. So let me zoom you in so you can really see what I'm doing. And I have a mirror down here, so I'm going to look down, but I'm going to try to show you guys. So I like to start right here on this arch, and I will just slightly press the brush into here and just form that bottom line. So if you can see, if it's gonna zoom, there you go. So see that just like gradual thin line right there. And then I drag it all the way down to where I want my brow to stop. So that is like the little, just like kind of make an outline of the bottom of your brow where you want it to, you know, be going up, and then how far you want it to go down. A couple tricks or tips are, if you put your brush angled like this, you want your brow to stop right about there, and you want it to start right about here, okay? And then your arch is supposed to be somewhere, I think, in the middle, like right here, I would say. Okay, and then I just keep going over that process. Usually you have this spray on your hand will last until you're done. So you only need 1 spray. Some people like to spray it directly on the brush. I don't like, I feel like I waste it when I do that. That's why I put it on my hand, because it creates like a little puddle. And then some people like to spray it in their cap and dip the brush in there. But I'm just gonna go back in with more spray and more eyeshadow and just darken that in. And just add little tiny strokes as I go. So now my brush is losing a little bit of the powder. It's not as strong, and you'll see, like, as you do it, the color is not as strong, and that's when I go in to create this inside point part, because you don't want it to be really dark. And then after that, and you have to play with it, but I don't use any more spray. So my brush is damp, but it's not wet like it was. So that's gonna make the color not as dark. And I'm just gonna fill in more and create that top line. And literally, this is all the brush. I'm barely doing anything. It's literally just the brush. I'm just pressing it down in there. And just creating my brow. So that's it. It's super, super easy. You always want to make sure that in the end, you go back through with the spoolie end and you brush it through. Not real hard, I just do it real light just to make sure there's no like harsh lines, and that everything looks really nice. Super easy. And now you're set for the rest of your day. It's gonna stay because you used the setting spray, and you're good to go. Now you have beautiful brows and super easy, fast way. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy the rest of your party. Have fun.